Hey guys, I'm going to help you with Lesson 10's homework. A little bit easier than last night's because we're just adding and subtracting to find the different angles. But here we go. So it says write an equation and solve for the measure of angle X. Verify the measurement using a protractor. So here, it's already telling us that DCB is 90 degrees. And we could see here that one part is 35 and then the other part we're trying to find. So in order to find the missing part, we can just subtract 35 from 90 and we get 55 degrees. I'm going to check over here and add 35 plus that 55, which we found, to make sure it adds up to 90, and it does. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on angle HGF. It tells us it's a right angle, which means it's 90 degrees. We have the piece that's 62. Which means we're going to subtract it from 90 to find the missing piece. And we're going to get 28. And we could check that by saying 28 plus 62, and we should get 90. Which we do. Okay. On number 3, it says angle JKL is a straight angle, and we know straight angle, means that it's 180 degrees. So the piece that we know is 145 degrees, and so we're just going to take 180 and we're going to subtract the piece we know, which is 145, and see what we have left over for that X. Okay, and we end up with 35 degrees, and if we went back and checked, 35 plus 145 is going to give you 180. Okay, number 4 is angle PQR. It's a little hard to see, but it is a straight angle, so it's 180. And they give us that tiny, tiny piece of 16 degrees, which means the majority of it is angle X. So I'm going to subtract 180 minus that 16 that we already have. So down here in the equation is going to be blank plus 16 equals 180. And when I subtract, I'm going to get 164. So that missing piece is 164. That adds up to 180. I could check over here, 164 plus 16 should give us 180 degrees. All right, next page. This one, it's a little bit more complicated. There's more than one piece that's already given. So let's try these. It says solve for the measurement of USW. So that one, we got to figure out which one that is. That's U to S to W. I've highlighted it in blue, and they're telling us that RST is a straight angle, so that straight line up top, and we know straight angles are 180, so we know that altogether these 3 angles that it's separated into have to add up to be 180. So we have this green piece here that's 70, this yellow piece here that's 35, and we have a missing piece that's X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 180 that they add up, I'm going to subtract each of the pieces I know. So 180 minus 70 will give me 110, but I still have that 35. So I'm going to subtract that 35 as well to see what's left, and what's left should be X. So let's see, 110 minus the 35 will give me 75 degrees. And so that means that X has to be 75 in order for them all 3 to add up to be 180. And if we check, 75 plus 35 plus 70 will give you 180 degrees, which means we found the missing piece. All right, let's look at number 6. It's really similar. It says solve for the measurement of OML, which is this piece right here. And it's telling us that LMN is a straight angle, which means it's 180 degrees. So I'm going to highlight that in yellow. And again, we have 2 pieces that we already know, but this time, instead of subtracting them separately, I'm going to try another strategy where I add them together first, and then I subtract them from 180. So I'm going to add together this green and this blue piece, which is 73 and 72, which I already know. And I'm a little squished here, but I'm going to get 145. So 145 of that 180 is already accounted for. So I'm going to subtract it to figure out the missing piece. And when I subtract it, I end up getting 35 degrees. And if I add 35 plus 73 plus 72, I get 180. All right, number 7 says, in the following figure, DEFH is a rectangle, which means all of the corners are 90 degrees. Without using a protractor, determine the measurement of GEF, which is right here. Write an equation that could be used to solve the problem. So the corner is 90 because it's a rectangle. So I could say 90 minus the piece that it gives us, or 90 equals 74 plus x, which is that tiny piece of GEF that we don't know. So really, I could, just like I have been doing, I could subtract 74 from 90 to see what the missing piece would be. And when I do that, I'm going to get 16 degrees. And if I go back and add 16 plus 74, I'm going to get 90. All right, number 8 says, complete the following directions in the space to the right. It says, draw 2 points, Q and R. Using a straight edge, draw a line QR, so I'm just going to do my best. Remember, it's a line if it has 2 arrows at the end. Plot point S somewhere between Q and R, right there. And it says plot point T, not on Q and R, so I'm going to put it down here. It says draw line segment TS. So I'm going to connect those two. And then it says find the measure of angle QST and RST. I'm just going to put my, I know they're going to have to add up to be 180 because QR is a straight angle, but I'm going to put my protractor on here to find one of the pieces, and then we can find the other. So this one is about, when I do RST, is about 75 degrees. This one's going to be, if that one's 75, the other one's going to have to be, if I subtracted, 105. And when I measure it, it's about 105. So the equation I could say is 105, or 105 degrees plus 75 degrees is 180 degrees. Hope this was helpful. We'll talk about it tomorrow.